Come on, baby.
Get over.
Go. Yes.
Yeah. Let's go.
What is up, disc golfers? Today on Iceberg TV, I'm thrilled to finally give you guys my review of the Løft Bohrium. And they sent us 6 to test out. This journey started off with just this one Løft stamped Bohrium, and this thing, I wasn't too impressed at first, and I'm gonna tell you why. They told me that this was not the final run, and this was not what the final discs would be like, and I was kind of thinking, well, why would you send me a not finished product for me to do a review on? And you know, I threw it and I really didn't enjoy it. It was really shallow, really hard to hold on to, and wildly overstable. Could barely throw it to like 250 feet on like 450 feet of power, and it was really overstable, and it just didn't fly as advertised. And what I really like about Løft is that I told them that. I gave them my honest feedback. I said, hey, I was gonna do a video on it, but the disc was just not good. And I explained all those things. Way too shallow, so overstable, doesn't go far, doesn't compare to any of my distance drivers. And they took that feedback in and they said, you know what, Dylan, we are going to send you 5 more from the actual production style run. We've tested these and they fly the way they're supposed to fly. So I went out and filmed a few more times with these ones, and this is so much better than the original one that I got. This thing is so hard to hold on to, so overstable, and this is not the representation of what the disc actually flies like. So we're going to forget about this for the rest of the video. So we're just going to get rid of that. Now, ready?
Yeah.
Oh! These 5 drivers, they are still quite shallow in the hand, and what makes this disc unique from other distance drivers is it's actually round. So inside here is more of a teardrop shape, and you can feel how round it is when you sort of have the disc in your hand, and it's not like it doesn't go like straight down like a normal disc. This makes it significantly more aerodynamic than other discs. Now we're gonna go over the cons of this disc and then the pros of this disc. The biggest con is it does have a fairly steep learning curve if you're used to throwing normal distance drivers. This rounded rim is a bit harder to hold on to, and it's gonna require you to change a few things, but it's not that bad. After probably 15 throws, I'm extremely comfortable throwing this disc now. It's actually quite easy to hold on to, but everything else I have to say about this disc are all pros. So the only con is there's a learning curve when throwing a disc that feels like something you've never thrown before. So obviously if you're throwing a disc that you've never thrown before, there's always gonna be a learning curve, but this one's just a little bit more unique, again, because this teardrop sort of inner rim, it's a bit weird for your fingers to get used to for backhand and for forehand, but once you get used to it, it's just fine. Now the plastic is extremely premium. They have an awesome blend, and I wish more companies made discs that feel like this. It's nice and grippy, but also really stiff. So it's like stiff around the rim, but then like grippy and malleable in the middle. And you feel like if you had this plastic with a normally shaped driver, they would have a winner. If they just took this plastic and made a destroyer clone, they'd have an absolute winner. And I still think this driver is a winner, and I think there's gonna be a lot of players that actually really love driving off the tee with the Bohrium.
Okay guys, so what you see on the screen here is me throwing my Innova Star Destroyer versus the Løft Bohrium. The Destroyer went just under 400 feet and the Løft Bohrium went just over 400 feet. And when I get a good rip on this thing and I allow it to take advantage of that aerodynamic design and obtain some high-speed turn, this disc definitely crushes, and I think it's probably gonna have a place in my bag moving forward. Okay guys, so you see my friend Sam on the screen here. He has extremely clean, compact form. I've seen him throw 500 feet. This is him throwing his Halo Wraith next to the Løft Bohrium, and these were really his first throws with the Bohrium, so he's working with the learning curve of getting the proper grip on the disc. So most of his distance drivers were going a touch farther than the Bohriums, but I think if he was to conquer the learning curve, he would be able to get a little bit more distance out of these than his normal distance drivers. But when you take someone who's throwing the discs that they're used to throwing, they're obviously going to throw them a little better, but they're flying really nicely for him. And again, he has 500 foot power, and you can really see the highest speed turn on display here. That throw went just as far as his Destroyer, not quite as far as his Halo Wraith, but he does chunk a really huge 360 out there, and you can really see if you put it up in the air, give it some height, give it power, and let it turn, you can see it moving to the right here. It goes extremely far. Now, when we put the Bohrium in the hands of a newer player or a player with slower arm speed, you definitely see the difficulties with the grip. They tend to get either earlier releases or throwing them up into the air, but once the learning curve was conquered, we were able to throw some really nice lines, even for the slower arm speed players or the newer players. Overall, I really do enjoy throwing the Bohrium. It's going to make my bag. Thank you to Løft Discs for giving me the opportunity to throw these test run discs. It was really fun, and it was really fun to share the experience with my friends. Don't forget to leave a comment down below. You are watching Iceberg TV, and take care.